Hey guys! This is Cartoon Recapped. Today we'll show you a 2018 family mystery cartoon called Sherlock Gnomes. Be aware of heavy spoilers. Sit back and enjoy the show. Sherlock Gnomes, the detective, and his trusty assistant, Dr. Gnome Watson, storm London's Natural History Museum where their nemesis, a pie mascot named Moriarty, is holding gnomes hostage. After a brief battle, Moriarty is seemingly crushed by a dinosaur skeleton. Meanwhile, now happily in love, Miss Montague, Mr. Capulet, and their garden gnomes move from Stratford-upon-Avon to London, into a run-down, unkempt new garden. Lady Blueberry and Lord Redbrick announce their retirement and appoint Gnomeo and Juliet as new leaders. Meanwhile, Sherlock Gnomes and Watson started fighting in the house. After Mrs. Utterson tells them to fight outside, Sherlock Gnomes and Watson are informed of missing gnomes. The couple's relationship starts to shake when Juliet becomes stressed and determined with fixing the garden up, unintentionally ignoring Gnomeo. In a bid to get her attention, Gnomeo decides to get a Cupid's arrow orchid for the new garden, so Benny shows Gnomeo the closest flower shop in town from an old computer. When Gnomeo gets the orchid in the shop, the burglar alarm goes off after a falling stall, forcing Juliet to rescue him. Once out, the couple have a heated row and Juliet angrily tells Gnomeo, "The garden can't wait, and you can." A signal on the walkie-talkie comes through of Benny saying that there is a monster in their garden. When Sherlock Gnomes holds Watson's map, he has to find every single garden gnome in London. The two race back only to find everyone gone. Suddenly, Sherlock Gnomes and Watson arrive and find a clue card. Juliet and Gnomeo urge the duo to tell them what's going on, and Sherlock Gnomes reluctantly agrees to let them tag along. A clue from Moriarty, whom Sherlock Gnomes believes survived their last encounter, leads them to Chinatown. They find the next clue at Curly Foo's Emporium, and they meet up with the salt shaker and the giant cat Pom-Pom until they escape a group of guards like black cats whom Sherlock Gnomes had previously offended. They arrive back at the Natural History Museum, where Gnomeo suggests they look inside, but Sherlock Gnomes decides to visit an art gallery instead, as it helps him think. Gnomeo tries to convince him otherwise, but is shocked and hurt when Juliet sides with Sherlock Gnomes. The couple argue and Gnomeo storms off to the museum with Watson in pursuit. Once inside the museum, Gnomeo realizes he shouldn't have left Juliet after talking with Watson, but before he can get back to her, he is kidnapped by a stone gargoyle who seemingly smashes Watson off-screen. When Juliet and Sherlock Gnomes arrive at the art gallery, they learn that Gnomeo has been kidnapped by the gargoyles and Watson has been smashed. Gnomeo is brought to the rest of the garden gnomes and informed they will be smashed during a fireworks celebration the following evening. Meanwhile, Sherlock Gnomes figures out the next clue is at the Royal Park. He and Juliet disguise themselves as a squirrel to get the clue from a dog and manage to evade the dog on a lawnmower. Gnomeo attempts to free the garden gnomes, but only he and the red goon gnomes are able to escape before the gargoyles arrive. The next clue leads Juliet and Sherlock Gnomes to a doll shop where they meet his friends Teddy Gregson and resentful former fiancée, Irene, who kicks them out, but allows Juliet back in after she distances herself from Sherlock Gnomes. Irene gives Juliet the clue, which leads her and Sherlock Gnomes to Trader's Gate at the Tower of London. Meanwhile, Gnomeo and the Red Goon Gnomes attempt to find the garden gnomes, when Juliet and Sherlock Gnomes discover Watson, apparently the true mastermind, who reveals that he pretended to be Moriarty to get through to Sherlock Gnomes, who never showed respect or appreciation for him and supposedly has the gnomes in custody, only to find them all missing. The gargoyles reveal that they never worked for Watson and dispose of Juliet, Sherlock Gnomes and Watson on a ship. Sherlock Gnomes realizes the garden gnomes are being held at the bottom of the tower bridge with pie filling, and Moriarty appears, revealing that he really was behind everything, having manipulated Watson into helping him, and plans to smash the gnomes with the raised bridge. After witnessing Sherlock Gnomes' mistreatment of Watson, he had the gargoyles feign allegiance with Watson to access his map and identify the location of every gnome in London. Sherlock Gnomes and Watson agree to work together a final time to save the garden gnomes, and they and Juliet head to the bridge on a drone. Gnomeo manages to stall the bridge opening with the red goon gnomes dancing, reunites with Juliet, and together they defeat the gargoyles. Although Watson frees the trapped gnomes with soap, Moriarty pursues Sherlock Gnomes and injures his leg. However, just before he can kill the others, Sherlock Gnomes throws himself at Moriarty, knocking them both over the bridge. Watson narrowly saves Sherlock Gnomes with his cane grappling hook, whereupon Moriarty lands in the water and helplessly floats away. Afterwards, the garden gnomes enjoy the fireworks celebration. The following spring, Gnomeo and Juliet happily reveal their completed garden, and the garden gnomes celebrate with Irene Teddy Gregson and the cat guards in attendance. Sherlock Gnomes and Watson leave for another adventure, friends and partners once more. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.